Hi, welcome my gorgeous ghouls and goblins to another episode of Casey Goth Coffee. Cheers!
Cheers, yeah!
And have another episode with our lovely artist, Kayla. She demonstrated sclera contact insertion and removal. So today we are here to do some special effects makeup to elevate your look. And we're doing it on the cheap. So this is stuff you can get at hashtag no sponsor yet, but this is places that you can get things, you know, on the cheap, because Gothic subculture, or goth subculture, I should specify. Gothic is something different. They are intertwined, but they are separate. Mm-hmm. Goth subculture was always a DIY. And so, and, you know, safety pins with hobby shops and do it yourself everything and thrifting and, you know, all that fun stuff. And so we are here to, you know, show you how to do really cool stuff on the cheap. And you don't have to have a degree in special effects makeup. If you do, you're awesome and congratulations. But Kayla's going to demonstrate on me. Yay, I'm excited. And what are we going to do today?
I'm going to try to do two different things. We're going to do a little bit of horror stuff. So I'm going to give you a gaping mouth. So something to kind of create that illusion of a mouth. I'm also going to do a burn, or see where we can fit a burn in. Maybe we'll put the burn in the mouth. Who knows?
Interesting.
It's all about having some fun.
Exactly. So what we have right now is some micellar water. It is my favorite thing to remove all and any makeup. It's so easy, cheap, and fabulous. And a lovely bag of cotton rounds, or cotton squares. I guess these aren't rounds. I just say rounds.
Cotton rounds. Boop.
Cotton rounds. So have that. All right. What do you need to do?
All right. So if we're going to be working on, I'm not going to
do whatever you want.
I'm not going to go over your eyes because that takes a little bit of extra precautions that we're just going to kind of waylay at the point here.
Keep it simple.
So we're going to, I'm going to have you wipe off everything from the cheekbones down.
All right. Perfect. So let's go ahead.
So when you're doing liquid latex, which is what we're going to be working on today, I have a nondescript bottle of liquid latex. Okay. Fresh, hasn't been opened. Make sure that you shake it really good.
Ew, you can see the color in my cheeks. Gross.
Ew, you have color.
I know I'm human. It's gross.
Just with liquid latex, it's really easy to work with, but you have to build it. So one of the ways that we're going to do that is by using cotton balls to build up a surface of where we're going to be working and creating shapes and fun things like that. Now, doing it the way that we're going to be doing it, nice.
Mm-hmm. I love this stuff so much.
Doing it the way that we're going to be doing it, it's not going to give you a clean, flat surface in that kind of sense. So if you're going for a smooth kind of alien look, might want to get a prosthetic. Mm-hmm. Or make your own prosthetic by building up nice smooth layers on a different surface and then sticking that prosthetic to your face. All using the liquid latex.
All right.
Noise. Mm-hmm. You are human. Look at you.
I know. I always like to prefer to be otherworldly and vaguely threatening.
All right, so we got our new bottle of liquid latex, nice and open for you can see. Disclaimer on this: if you know that you are allergic to latex, don't do this.
Don't.
Just don't. That's gonna be our theme whenever I'm on. It's just don't.
Bad time. Bad time.
All right, so I have a plate, nondescript paper plate. We're going to pour some liquid latex in. Don't overdo it because it will start solidifying eventually. So just little bits at a time. So now we have a little plate, little goop in the corner.
It's like this little...
Yep. A little goopy spot in the corner. We're going to drape it down like that. And use just... Here is an old application brush. It's little bamboo one. It's not really anything great. Don't ruin your good Morphe brushes or anything like that.
Oh God, no.
Use a Crayola. It's fine. And all of the stuff will peel up out of it, so we don't have to worry about that portion. So if you do use a good brush, you're all right, but don't recommend it. Okay. Since that's in there, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use a tiny little bit of spirit gum. We're going to prep the area that we're going to put the liquid latex down on. So while we have that, we're going to draw on the shape that we're going to do. So what's the shape that you want?
I don't...
Big gaping mouth. Burn on the other side. We're going to do that. So, not liquid latex. Spirit gum. we're going to big gaping mouth. I'm going to start here. And this stuff is kind of like not actually super glue, but the super glue of the makeup world.
Mm-hmm.
There is a special remover we will talk about soon. So make sure that you can see your line. It's not hard to see. Right into the nostril.
I was not ready for that.
We're going to go across the nose because we're going to...
Oh, that tickles.
Tickle,
Sorry.
tickle. Alright, so while I do this...
That stuff stinks.
It do stink bad. Like super glue. And you can't see it.
You can't see it.
No. I can see it. And that's what's mattering. So now you look like the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
Invisible Joker.
That nose part's really gonna mess with me. Ah, it tickles.
It tickles. It's because I got it right in the nostril, like in the side, like burp. Okay, cap that up. Once that starts getting tacky, we're gonna move in.
I can feel it getting.
So when it kind of pulls away from her skin and it feels like her skin's gonna stick to me, and I get a little bit left on my fingers, and you can see my fingers are sticking together, that's when we want it. Okay, next up. You can watch a million videos about how to do this online, but this is our channel.
Right. It's ours.
I have unrolled a cotton ball here. We're going to thin it out, do what you gotta do. However thick you make it, that's fine. We're gonna start sticking this puppy down. Right up across the nose. If that didn't tickle before, I'm sure it do now.
No, it's okay now. I mean, it was just the brush. It just went right in my nose hole.
All right. Start with a little bit more than what you intend because it's a cotton ball. It's not rocket science, but it will shrink down when we start putting on the liquid latex. So now you can kind of see this is the V that we're going to start putting on the mouth for. So this is all pre-makeup, of course, because we'll have to put a little bit of makeup on afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We got our little pot of makeup down here. Pot, plate of makeup.
Plate of makeup.
Plate o' makeup. Dab right down on into it. Get off excess so that you're not dripping all over. And follow the lines of your liquid latex. And start going along the skin while dabbing down the edges of your cotton ball. This will start drying eventually. I'm going to have you turn just a little bit.
Sorry.
Make sure your edges are just kind of matted down. Grab your edges and pull them down if you need. But as you do that, there we go. There's your top edge. Lean in. It's hard to see. All right. So next we're going to get this corner. If you get it in your little hairs, that's okay. Don't worry. We have remover.
Mm-hmm.
Though I am trying to avoid your little hairs. You don't have to feel like you can't move your face. I know it probably feels like that, but this stuff isn't going anywhere.
Oh, no, you're okay. I'm just trying to be still so you can concentrate on what you're doing. We have a remover.
That's true. Alright, so I have gone in and gotten this first edge down. The inside of this, if you can see. Alright. We're going to do the inside portion of this now. I'm going to start at the top corner. What you want to do is, be careful and don't wipe really hard and then remove your cotton that you've already gotten down. And we can add as much more cotton as necessary to this. I am going to kind of do what I did along the bottom. And you put some down along the skin. I like that we're getting strings. It's actually what I'm going to be doing next, so. Nostril! Just snort that in. Breathe it in.
I know, right?
Deep breaths.
I'm sure it's healthy. I'm sure it's good for me and not toxic at all.
Alright, so then to kind of create the fact that this should be her skin going into the cotton ball and then this is going to be a lip, I'm going to follow that. Did that tickle?
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
Follow it and kind of push up into it. It'll release the edge of that cotton and kind of push it up. We're also then going to very gently pull over the top of the cotton so that way we're adding a layer of latex over top of it. the hardest part about this is letting it dry between our layers. So we will get to that point soon.
Would you recommend a fan?
We can do a fan.
No, I was just...
How about a blow dryer and we'll just torch your face? Let's not do that.
We can do a blow dryer, but you don't need to stick it on my face.
So while we're doing this, let's answer some questions about goth coffee.
Oh.
How about that?
What kind of questions?
What kind of questions? So you mentioned in your first video that Carlos started it in 1998?
Yes.
How big was the group then?
Well, it depended on the week, honestly. We met weekly back then, not monthly like now, because people just nowadays are just busier. I don't know, they just started it because they wanted something to do on a Wednesday. It was on Wednesdays then, and they started, the first one was at Chubby's, and then they moved to Sydney's on Broadway, and I heard about it through friends, and friends heard about it through friends, and then... You know, some days it would be, 5 or 6 people, and other days there was like 50 people in Sydney. It was crazy. And that's where we would hear about shows and hear about, raves and hear about, record releases and hear about, concerts and hear about parties. And because back then in the 90s, people used to have a lot of house parties. Nowadays, the liability is so high. I know people still have house parties, but it's a lot more of a rarity than it used to be. Sit back in Sydney's, smoke cloves and drink lots of coffee and, flirt and talk and, just have a good old time.
So why goth coffee? Why not like a weekly rave or something like that? What inspired you to do?
Well, there were things that were going on like that. There was a place in Olathe called G Coffee, and that's where we went on the weekends to, dance, and they had DJs, and, there's a lot of us that remember the old G Coffee days, and that was fun too. But yeah, like I said, people had parties. There were, obviously raves, dances, there were a lot of concerts. Oh my God. And, I know Davies, Uptown Rambler Club is where a lot of that, goth stuff specifically would be. I remember going to an album signing for Black Tape for a Blue Girl at 7th Heaven in Lawrence. I mean, we were all over the place. Right. And I knew Manhattan goths and Lawrence goths and Kansas City goths. And I know a bunch of us went down to Manhattan once for a little gothic rave. And it was a blast. And, we just all we were such a small subculture that, a lot of us hung out together, and so it was a lot of fun.
It was good to know a lot of your people in your community then. It made it a community.
Yeah, it did. It did for a long time, and and as all things do, eventually it does dissipate without responsible, people to help solidify and keep the torch burning, and it would go away and dissipate a little bit. And I'm not saying all the way, not at all, but people would move away, people would come back. I did the same thing. I moved away and came back, and that's why I resurrected it, was because I missed it. I missed that, getting together and outside of, the boots and pants, because I'm older, and so I can't hear anything anymore. It's so frustrating. It's like, people will be yelling at you in the club, and you're just like, I want to get to know you. I really do in my head, but I'm like, oh, that's great. Yeah, I have no idea what they're saying, and they tell you their name. I don't remember, because I'm 4 rum and cokes in, on the night time, yeah. When I meet, and I'm, and it's just like, well, all right. So, yeah.
So when did you resurrect it?
I don't even remember anymore. I have it in my, in the computer hard drive downstairs, and it's just people that you just reconnect with after 25 years. It's been really great, and so yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, and so I'm keeping it going, trying to keep it going,
keeping the dream alive,
trying to keep the social aspect of it where you can actually have a conversation with people and get to know people, and maybe there's a person that you're kind of secretly crushing on, and maybe they come to the thing, and then you could see them and talk to them, and, I don't know, or just people you want to network with, maybe you're, a promoter, or,
That's a cotton ball dripped in
liquid
latex. And that's what we're going to drip across your face, so you can keep going.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it looks like a booger. That's okay. I just pulled it out of my nose for you.
I'm just going to lose my train of thought because I know it's going to be wet and it's cold.
Yes, I'm going to make it nice and pointy and goopy, too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, really get that looking like a dangle off of a cat's butt.
And I was looking for a permanent place to have it, like a Chubby's or, you know, Sydney's, but nobody's open 24 hours hardly anymore. So I decided, what the hey, let's make it more of a, I'm trying to find interesting places in the Kansas City area that are, you know, welcome to larger groups. And so we can, you know, visit, and that are cool with goth subculture. And so they're totally okay with serving us and won't give us any guff or crap about it.
It's the sideways glances.
We're understanding goth is more a music scene than, you know, we're not a religion. We're not a cult. It's not like that. It's about the music for me. It's always been about the music, and I love the aesthetic, and I love, you know, I mean, it's not everything I do, of course. I mean, it's stupid to assume that somebody, if you do eat, sleep, and breathe goth, well, good for you. You know, you're like the poster child of it. But I have a lot of interests and things that go outside of the subculture, but I'm very protective. I love it so much, you know, and it just had such an impact on me as a kid.
A positive impact.
Very much so. It's very artistic. It's very, you know, just, it's delicious.
As we're putting goops on your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, your skin got tore a little when your gaping maw came
Oh,
open.
cool.
Here.
I like it.
Yeah, so we're gonna just like pull those tight and like you have flappies.
Okay, well,
nice.
You need flaps. I don't want to crack it.
You won't crack it.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
Try it. Smile as big as you can.
It's kind of weird. It's weird.
I mean, as a goth, smiling as big as you can is kind of a challenge anyway. Like,
no, I'm one of those goths. I smile all the time. Because it's my happy
life
place.
Life is too short to be...
It's my happy place, you know, with all the crap that's gone on in my life. Goth is my happy place, so I'm always like, yay, I'm here, yay.
Let's talk about the stigma that goths are just these people that, oh, I want an unhappy meal instead of a happy meal. Mm-hmm. That is not who he is. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And some people want to be, you know...
I mean, if that's who you are and if that's what you do, then great, but don't generalize an entire group of people.
Oh, well, you know, as a society, we're great at that. And I'm just like, oh, shut up. So, yeah. No, goths are, they're just as diverse as anything else.
Yep.
You know, I mean, somebody put up and like I said, being an older person, there's a lot of new goth things happening that are adding to the subculture, which is fine. Like, I was having a discussion online about that today. It's fine. I think it's interesting, the new things coming out of it with the new younger people. I mean, everything's going to morph, you know. I mean, as a living entity, the only constant thing is change, you know. It's just a fact. And so I'm very interested to see, like, bubble goth was like one of the first things I've heard, and I was like, what the heck is bubble goth? And I'm like, okay, well, an Estonian pop singer coined that term, bubble goth. I'm like, what the hell is that? So I did some research to educate myself. What the hell are they calling bubble goth? And I'm like, okay, kind of reminds me of those twins on The Matrix. The ones...
I totally forgot about that. I haven't watched The Matrix.
You know, they're all white, you know, with and that's what it reminds me of, because it's like a negative of God, you know, and I'm like, okay, I mean, if that's what you want to call it, you know,
rock it out.
Whatever. And, but goth itself was a subculture based on music. So
style is style. You don't have to wear black to be goth. You don't have to have black hair to be goth. I've been accused of not being goth because I'm blonde. This is my natural hair color. I don't want to dye it.
And I just think that's silly. You know?
It's don't judge other people. Most goths are good about this because we're the most accepting group of people on the planet.
Yeah.
You want to do this? Great. Just don't hurt each other.
Yeah.
Just like each other.
We've always been very accepting of sexual orientations, religious affiliations, all that stuff. You just like, I'm goth. And that's all you have to say.
All right. So talking about the SFX right now, the problem is with liquid latex is you do have to let it dry in between applications. So right now we're waiting. We're waiting for it to dry up a little bit.
Yeah.
When it dries, it's clear-ish. So when this is all kind of clear on her face, It is going to mold with her face. I'm going to like, boop, boop. You got nice tight skin, girl.
I do.
But it's not going to go anywhere. She could mush her face. It's not coming off. That's why we have remover.
Yes.
Again, talk about it soon.